Hey associates, okay, this video is just going to walk through some of the basic tools for Adobe Creative Express, which used to be called Adobe Spark. So I think it will be most useful if you open it up on your own computer and just follow along with me as we explore some of the tools that can help you both with, creating social media posts is a key thing, but you also might use it to create an infographic for like reflections, campaigns, or even just for fun. Okay, so go ahead, open up another tab on your computer and let's follow along. I'll scooch myself. So first, I just researched Adobe Express, and it's one of those things that comes up. It has this SP logo because it used to be called Spark. So go ahead and click on it. The great thing is you can log in with a lot of different ways and tools, and so it is if you have an Adobe account, right, it's part of that, but also it is a free kind of nice quick photo editor as well. So click on that, go ahead and log in with your Adobe account or one of the other options, and pause me while you're getting logged in, and then come back when you are on this cool screen. All right, so this is obviously our home screen, a lot of really great things to look at. There's options, of course, to create new projects, even start from templates. I do want to point you to some of these tools. And so these are quick photo and video editors for when it's, especially for socials, often it's like, do we really need to power up Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects? Probably not, especially, if you're working, it may be smaller context. I know while I do edit a lot of the social videos for the UNC, advising in student academic success, there's definitely times where it's just a quick post. Stakes are pretty low. And so this is a great tool that you can use. It's also great to do things like resizing images if they're too big, to upload somewhere. I really love that. And so you can kind of click through and find some of those great things. One that I really like is this remove background. And so you can, grab a photo and drop it in there. So I have this folder already ready to go. You have my dog. His name's Gatsby. We're going to make a Gatsby post because who doesn't love their pets, right? And so, if you're looking through, you're like, okay, I really like this photo, but I think, I just want him in the photo and sort of to isolate him. Obviously, depending on the background, it will work, better or worse. But let's go ahead and try this one. So drag it over, and it's going to be trying to find and identify the background. The more solid the background, the better it's going to work. It's that same principle of why we use green screen to get really crisp videos. But you can see, it removed it pretty well. There's definitely a little too much brown here, so it cut it off a little bit. But that's how you can quickly, get rid of backgrounds in your photos. So you just have a nice fun clip of, your pet, right? And so then you can download it and it'll just be right there. All right, other things on this home screen to pay attention to. Projects tab, obviously where all your projects will be stored. Brands is where you can create custom brands. And so, if you are working for a client, you'll obviously always want to make sure you have their specific colors and their logos and the fonts that they like to use, which is important. At UNC, we have our marketing communication team with all the latest brand tools, and this is where you will download the Greeley font, right, our official font. This is where you can get the official UNC logos. This is where you'll find the official colors for you to then integrate into your brand kit. For me, I make kind of a little personal brand kit with my own logo for a blog I'm still figuring out what I want to do with. You can add colors, right, with the hex codes. And so that is exactly where, for UNC, you'll do the hex codes, 013C65 for the kind of that bluish color, or the gold color, right? And so you can add hex codes or you can sort of drag around as well. We can also change fonts, and the main reason to put things in the branding panel here is really because it makes it faster to update everything to be consistent with the brand when you're actually creating the post, which we will see. And so, pause me, go ahead and, find the brand tools, in the style guides at UNC, and then go ahead and, update with the right colors. All right, we good? Libraries, if you do have an Adobe account, this is where your libraries can be synced, and so you can, get all of the, just images and create templates and have different assets that you have saved, across. So you can see I have a lot of UNC stuff already saved in here, common photos and icons and graphics that I like to use often when I am working across the different Adobe products. You can see these, I used the background eraser, so it's just kind of me, because I like to overlay them in training videos, give people a little bit more of a funny thing to kind of think about and look at. All right, and then this Learn tab just has some really great, quick, you can see 20-second, here's how to do this specific thing. So as you're exploring and playing around, definitely use those to pick up some additional skills. But, all right, so let's go ahead and, create a new Instagram post. We'll just use that. It's going to size it already. Instagram's easy, 1080, 1080 square, but that's kind of where it can go from there. Then you have all these different templates, which is pretty cool. And so, you can click on one and kind of preview it and decide to use it. And so with templates, they are fantastic for inspiration, but I definitely encourage you to take the inspiration and then make it your own, make it resonate with you, with your client, with your brand. So if Gatsby is our client, okay, yeah, sure, we love Gatsby, we'll just go with this one. Ooh, green light, green light, Great Gatsby. Let's see what this is about. So we can use this template, it's kind of neat. Cool, so then let's look at kind of our panels and our options here. So along this side is where you can change the colors, and you can get to your blog branding colors as well. And so it's okay, cool. So you can switch your brand around and quickly sort of change the entire color feel of everything. You can also do that in design by applying the brand. And so this will do whatever colors and logos you have automatically get put onto the system. That's colors. Animation, we'll kind of get to at the end, but this is where you can add different graphic animations to create videos, essentially, which are helpful for socials. Background is going to be the actual, background of the post. Right now we have this photo in the background, and so it's a little bit harder to see. Resize, you can change it to different ones. So if you are I'm in love with this and you want to change it to an Instagram story, boom, you can do that really easily. So those are kind of the basic tools on this side. The basic tools on this side is where you can add new text, add new photos, add different icons, right? So I search dog and icons, we get these little, kind of single line graphics. Design assets, or we can get a lot more creative elements and aspects. Specific backgrounds, so basically switch out what we're doing over here. And then you can have your different logos and of course your library show up. Cool. All right. So if we click on the post, all the things that are on there are going to be part of different layers. So as with all Adobe products, we're working off of layers. So right now, the logo is the top layer down here. Then we have the text is above all of these little spillage and graphic pieces. And then we have kind of our final background layers. Right? And so we can delete different aspects. Can delete that. Oops. And so if you delete this one, we can see, okay, now got rid of that. And so our background, is just this, very dark color. And we can change that Again, here's our branding colors we had already preloaded in. I'll just go with a white to make it easy to see stuff. And so as you kind of move these, right, this layer is currently, if we scooch it over here, right, we can see it's behind the text because the layer's behind the text. If I drag it up to the top, now it is in front of the text. So that is one really nice quick way. You don't have to necessarily click on every single thing and tell it to like go to a different position. You can just kind of go through it that way. All right, let's get rid of some of these. So these are all grouped together right now, which is something you could do. So that way it like moves this and this little graphic together. So if you have templates, you might have to ungroup stuff, and then you click off, and now this coffee ring is separate from the image. I'm just going to go ahead and delete all of those. Let's, move that up. Okay, cool. So with this image, let's go ahead and replace the image. You can either upload a photo, or you can, get these free like Adobe stock photos as well. And so if you're uploading an image, maybe that's something that you get, from your client, or a specific, in-house graphic. Here's the photo of Gatsby that we had worked on before. I just dragged it right from my downloads right onto it. And so now it's like uploaded as a new kind of photo. And then, or you could like upload a photo this way. So if you click on replace, say we upload another new photo, move back to Gatsby's folder, and I don't know, let me just pull out, where's one where he's looking extra handsome? Oh, I don't know, he used to be so small. How about this classy one? All right, cool. And so now you can see it just replaced, right, that one, but it's cutting it off a little bit, and we don't really like that. And so this is where you can go to this crop and shape over here, and make sure that it's, in the middle of the circle, for example. Press done. Cool, and now your image is cropped. You can also change things like the transparency, how sort of solid it is in there. You can flip it, flip it vertically as well. And then you can also add different sort of filters to it. So all of these effects and enhancements are things you just want to, kind of play around with, and see what you like. The blur is kind of fun, especially if you click this add to background, because now it made it the whole background image. And so you can blur it more or less, which can be nice to, focus on, the different, like the words or your call to action, on social media, okay, which is pretty fun. All right, if you unclick add to background, now we'll remove it from the background. Let's turn the blur off for now. Other things you can do, so there's these different shapes that you can have it be, maybe I'm like, oh, I'll put Gatsby in a little heart, right? Cool. And so now it's, a heart-shaped situation. Yeah. Because we heart him. All right, so that's how you're going to manipulate things like photos. Following, so, pause, play around with some photo editing, and then we'll just talk about the text. All right, so again, all of our text is grouped right now, and so I can ungroup, and now I can edit each piece of text separately. So when you highlight the text, this is the box where you will, change what you're typing. Hello, old sport. Here's where you can change the text colors. Again, it can be within your brand, or you can change it to whatever color you want. You can also do things like make it a circle. You can change the grid. You can do all sorts of really kind of cool stuff with that. So just kind of play around with the text and update, the words, right? We'll say, I'm Gatsby. Cool. Yeah. And then you can change this. It has shadow effects on it. You can change, the different outlines, and you can kind of see there. Or you can just delete it. Oop. Cool. To change things like the font size and shape of it, right? There's kind of a drag box, but you can also change the font size over here. And so I can stretch it out, shrink it in. It's very similar to, what you might find on, I don't know, PowerPoint or kind of anywhere else really. So play around with some of the text on your sample one, and then we will talk more about icons, assets, and backgrounds. All right, so again, icons is where you can just grab all sorts of little kind of flares, doodles. You can search for pretty much, anything that you desire. They have very kind of abstract versions. You click on it and it just, puts it in there for you. Or you can also drag it. Doop, doop. Cool. Okay. And you can go back and also delete that. And so, play around with some of the icons, kind of search, have fun, right? Be creative. Design assets and just give you a little bit more like creative aspects of it. And so there's things like these cool brushes. If you find one that you're like, ooh, I love that, you can drag, resize, and again over here, take the layer. It's always going to be the top layer, and then you can drag it so now it is, behind everything else. Maybe you make it a little more, transparent, so you can still see your text, right? You drag that behind. Are all like kind of funny, weird, good options you can do. And then last, backgrounds is really designed to give you a big, background. So if you're looking through and you find one that just really speaks to you, you can search to see if they have anything from dog. Oh, look, they do. They have all sorts of backgrounds, right? And so if you're like, I like this one, you can click on it, pin it to the background, and it will automatically make that your background image or color. If you decide I don't like that, you can remove it from the background, and now it's just a normal kind of photo that you can drag, and then you can pin it to the background again. And you can sort of add kind of a blur effect to it, all sorts of really cool effects and enhancements. All right, so you can kind of play around with that a little bit, and then we'll just last look at what the animations are doing. Maybe like scooch this over, make it smaller. Boop, boop. You can't really see that. Okay. Anyway, cool. All right. So then last, once you just have kind of the images, the basic things that you like and that you want on there, you can add animation. So there's text animations, right? So now it says, okay, cool. You can see the text changing. There's all sorts of ones, dynamic ones, kind of cool, like flickery sort of ones, kind of sliding in ones, which are all really, just kind of neat and fun to play around with. Other animation things to play with, photo animation, right? It's going to change anything that's tagged as a photo or an image, and it will kind of zoom it in. You can have a pan, you can have them blur in. I mean, it's just kind of animations and transitions. Cool. Now, or you can have none. All right, so, definitely just play around. There's a lot of really fun, things that you can do in here as you're thinking about making your posts for your kind of social media, or just anything else. Like, you could use this for so much stuff. And so, definitely this doesn't go necessarily into info design. I would say as far as tips in that realm, whenever you think that if the font feels a little small to you on your computer screen, it's definitely going to be too small on mobile. So, definitely Think about reducing the total number of words. What can you add to the caption? Think about the contrast with everything, and making sure it just looks cohesive. Use the brand kit to make sure that you're going to tie into what your client expects kind of on their feed. But otherwise, just be really creative. Find inspiration online, rely on the previous classes you've had. If you have had info design classes or visual communication classes, all of those can go into play. But this video is really just meant to serve as a nice overview of the tools in Adobe Creative Express to help you as you start to make some of those mock-ups. All right. Thanks, associates.